This is the iPhone XR, Apple's answer to the $1,000 phone, starting at $749. Is this the best iPhone for most people? Or should you dig a little bit deeper and cough up $250 more for the premium iPhone XS or XS Max? I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja, and let's take a look. So this year, Apple released 3 different iPhones. The iPhone XS, the iPhone XS Max, and the iPhone XR. Let's be realistic. I don't see tons of iPhone Xs just floating around in the world. I still see older iPhones. I see iPhone 6s and 7s and 8s, but it seems like the iPhone X just didn't hit that huge wave that Apple may have expected. So when tech people say the screen is bad, what are you comparing it to? Because if you're comparing it to iPhones that people are coming from, this is actually a better screen. They also say the resolution is low. But what they fail to realize is that many people already have the bad screen iPhones with the low resolution already. So this phone for a lot of people will actually be an upgrade or a lateral grade. But when you compare it to the offerings of Android like the OnePlus, at a cheaper price point, you actually get better screen overall. But people don't care about that. They want the iPhone. For $749, you get the 64GB model of the XR. For $799, you actually double the storage to 128. And then if you jump your budget up to $899, you have a 256GB version. Still $100 cheaper than the entry-level iPhone XS. For many people, the look of the XR is actually indistinguishable from the iPhone XS. Yes, they do look different. I'm not saying that they don't. But once again, we're talking about the average consumer. And those are the people that are gonna make up majority of the sales, and they don't know the difference. The one thing they will notice though is the size, as it sits between the 10 and the XS. It's 6.1 inches, and for me, it actually lands in the sweet spot. Not too small, but not too big where I can't use it with one hand. The iPhone XR comes in 5 colors to choose from blue, white, black, yellow, coral, and red. Even then, you can get a dbrand skin to change it up, get some crazy cool textures like this camel skin or the red dragon. And dbrand lets you have fun with colors, but it also covers up those smudges that you'll inevitably get with this glass back. Also, one noticeable difference on the back is the single shooter camera versus the dual camera that you'll find on the iPhone XS. And we'll dive a little bit deeper into that in this video. So build, 2 lenses, and color aside, how does this phone match up to the XS, and is it worth the extra $250? The chip inside the XR is the A12 Bionic, which is the exact same chip found in the XS. However, it's paired with 3GB of RAM versus 4GB of RAM. Does 1GB of RAM really mean anything? But for tech people or people with a keen eye, you will see that bouncing between applications is not as fluid as you would see on the XS or the XS Max. And I will say that's due to the RAM. But once again, average consumers, people who just want the newest iPhone or want to get the affordable iPhone, are not going to be concerned with this. Performance is really good. It's extremely snappy. It feels like a modern day iPhone, and that's the objective here, to feel like a modern day iPhone, and it does that well. I think the big win here though is battery life. The XR has phenomenal battery life, and we can thank the screen for that. It's using an LCD panel at a lower resolution, which uses less power than high resolution screens. Now, speaking of screens, this screen does not get as bright as the more expensive iPhones, and also the text is not as sharp. So we're definitely seeing where the compromises are at with the XR versus the XS. And yet again, is this compromise worth it to you? That's what you need to answer before making a decision to purchase. Let's move on to the camera, since that is where a lot of people will spend their time using this phone. Without getting too much into the numbers and nerdy about it, the camera is good. It holds its own compared to most phones. Look, it takes some good pictures, but the lack of secondary lens is a bigger deal than I thought. I'm so used to having 2 lenses, and not being able to zoom in without losing quality is becoming a hindrance to me. Even without the zoom lens, this camera's dynamic range is lacking compared to more expensive phones like the Pixel, the Note, and also the newer iPhones. Also, portrait mode takes a step back too. I think it is a good camera, and I think for the price, it's where it belongs, but just don't expect anything extraordinary. However, if you are coming from an older iPhone, 7, 8, even 6, then this is a huge camera upgrade for you. But if your buddies have a XS and you want to compare pictures, you're going to see a difference between the XS and the XR. So look, I was wrong about the iPhone XR. I thought it was going to be like the iPhone 5C, and it's just thrown together with old parts. However, the iPhone XR nails the things that are going to be important to real people and not tech bloggers. Battery life and camera is good enough, and it's a solid iOS experience that lets you run any app without major compromises. It has Face ID baked in as well, which makes getting into your phone really easy, and also it lets you have a button-free phone. So once again, this is a modern iPhone. Just because it doesn't have that $1,000 price tag doesn't mean this might be Apple's best iPhone ever when you factor in the price. Anyways guys, I'm Kevin the Tech Ninja, and those were my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Leave a comment, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.